One of my dear teachers, Rabbi Zalman Schachter Shalomi of blessed memory, speaks about the difference between picking a New England apple off a tree and taking a bite and getting a waxed, wrapped apple from the supermarket. The difference is huge. Off a tree, there's a vitality, there's a life to that apple. There's a flavor that bursts forth that is so much different from the apple in a supermarket. And he teaches that prayer is the same, that for most of us, we relate to prayer as a wrapped supermarket apple, that we go to synagogue and turn to page 134, stand up, here's the place that we say Amen. The cantor or the rabbi are singing us singing some music along, and hopefully we'll sing along. We know the melodies, and we go ahead, and there may be a soothing to it, but there lacks a vitality. There lacks an energy. There lacks a connection. And this is our neshama, our soul knows the difference between this kind of true prayer and this kind of going through the motions, doing what we're supposed to do. The first time that I learned about true prayer was when my oldest son was born, and he was heavily jaundiced. He was on the table with the bilirubin lights, and it was pretty severe, and we didn't really know whether he was going to make it. And I had been living a religious life, praying in community, praying with the prayer book on my own. But at that moment, none of that made any difference to me. Instead, I just opened up, and with everything I had, I said, please, God, let him live. And it was a prayer that was deeply, deeply from the heart. And it was a prayer that had vulnerability, where I opened myself at that moment, and I knew that I wasn't in control. And it was that kind of connection, that kind of moment, which became the experience that showed me what true prayer could look like. So we know that we have prayer in our own spontaneous sense, the willingness to be vulnerable, the willingness to open up, the willingness to try to connect with something greater than ourselves from a real place. But then what do we do when we come into our synagogue and we engage in communal prayer in words that have been said for thousands of years, but may or may not connect to us? Maybe there's ideas in the prayer that we haven't figured out how to do. Maybe we don't know the melodies. And yet we're supposed to bring some kind of authenticity to it. We want that real New England apple, not that freeze-dried apple. So how do we do that? How do we connect again with where our hearts are? There's so many things to say about it. A lot of it has to do with education, has to do with learning. And at Temple Bethel, we're going to have some more classes and more educational opportunities to learn about the depth of our prayer. But it also comes with a willingness to be real, a willingness for our prayer services to be able to be creative and experimental and open to try to tap into that more authentic place. This coming Friday night, we are participating in a special Shabbaton conference in Los Angeles. Kol Tefillah is a weekend Shabbaton, which is all about innovative prayer. We're going to be streaming it for our congregation. I'll be up there helping lead prayer, and we'll be streaming it at 5:15 on Friday afternoon for the Friday Kabbalat Shabbat service, and then 9:30 a.m. on Saturday for the morning service. We'll also have an additional in-person Shabbat service at 7 p.m. outside. It'll be lovely weather with Cantor Shula and Kim Gubner and Carol Roman. So you're welcome to either tune in remotely to or come in person to our 7 o'clock service. But you also can see what some of the people on the edge of exploring what can authentic, communal, vibrant Jewish prayer look like, and tap into the Kol Tefillah stream that is coming out of Los Angeles. So this is just a beginning to really acknowledge that many of us have so many opportunities to grow in our own prayer life. And as a Temple Bethel community, we have lots of opportunities to grow, and we're looking forward to doing that with you. Shabbat Shalom.